% of the population, that is the officially designated urban poor, every year. Which means in terms of health and education, you need to cater to a very large children or a very large number of women who will be pregnant and therefore need care, and babies who will be born and need care, and then eventually grow up and need education. And among the lowest two quartiles, which is the point that you had raised, about 12 million children less than 5 years are chronically undernourished. बहुत से देशों की पॉपुलेशन नहीं होती है 12 मिलियन. हमारे देश की पॉपुलेशन बहुत है, बट सिर्फ शहरी पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री में 12 बिलियन चिल्ड्रन लेस देन 5 years are chronically undernourished.
If you are chronically undernourished, it affects your brain development.
It affects brain development. It will affect physical capacity. जैसे अगर ठेला ही चलाना है, सामान ढोना है, that capacity will be compromised. Now, after this somewhat scary picture, we will talk about some program experiences that our small NGO does in India, in 2 cities, Indore and Agra. What we've done in the last few years is that initially we had these women's groups that you see at the bottom in the slums, and we kept building their capacity, their motivation, and as we realized that and their training in terms of health, nutrition, taking care of pregnant women, of newborn babies, as their capacity grew, we realized that on the organizational front also there had to be some sort of a social infrastructure. So we encouraged them to form this federation. So here, as you see, one democratically elected representative from each women's group goes to this federation, which is a congress of women's groups. So this has helped in building the social infrastructure in a more organized way. And in Indore and Agra, currently we have 5 such federations, which range from 7 women's groups to 40 odd women's groups, depending on the situation. And this is how the whole thing is structured. We have small offices, one in Indore, one in Agra, and we have small teams, 2 social workers in Indore, 2 in Agra. They provide the stimulation, support, mentoring to these women's groups, and they also help them link with the government authorities. And we will just see from the description of the activities what this linkage means in practical terms. And we also provide a small grant, because what we have done is that we have got these federations of women's groups, these federations here, registered as NGOs. And our hope is that if we are able to sustain this over the next maybe 7, 8 years, these NGOs of women's groups will be strong enough that probably no force will be able to at least dislodge them from their core purpose. And we will see in a while how we are investing in the next generation also, so that we have some effects of this effort even beyond where this can last. So these are one type of activities captured through pictures. This is awareness generation and behavior promotion on health, education, saving for a rainy day, all the aspects which have emerged from the community themselves. Cleaner environment, hand washing, and these are one set of activities. The second set of activities is complementing existing healthcare. So we have a health system in our country which unfortunately is weak. We have a public sector health system, we also have the private sector, but because access is poor, so we have complemented it through outreach health clinics by private doctors in the slums themselves, so that more people can avail of these services. Otherwise, many of them miss out on very simple things like vaccination of children. And we also try and encourage the use of technology and whatever available resource like the auto rickshaw so that people can be transported to the hospital timely. The third activity, this is relatively recent, and even Vivek Bhai hasn't seen this. We realized over time that we should start teaching these women's groups some quasi-legal tools. So they've started making these petitions, which you see on the left. This is a petition given to the Agra Nagar Nigam for water in one basti. And on the right is the response of the civic authority approving that water connection. So these are some newer tools which we realized in the last 2 years that we should try to take this a little forward and build the negotiation ability of the women's groups. These are members of the women's groups representing at a public hearing organized at the district office. The district collectors organize public hearings, and so we've tried to encourage them to go there. Sometimes they face challenges, but still, it's not easy to deal with the district office, but they are persevering with it. The fourth activity is to use hand-drawn neighborhood maps for a variety of purposes to help ensure that no families are left out. Because in slums there is a lot of migration that keeps happening. And these maps help them ensure that families are included. For example, if the slum is evicted and moved to a different area and the government is providing some compensation for housing or providing housing, often there is this tendency among officers that if 250 people or families are moved, they would say that we have only 200 families in this slum. So these maps help them ensure that those 50 weaker ones are not left out. And likewise, they are able to track immunization coverage. And the next map actually shows a little more detailed way of how they are tracking these coverage. I don't know if it is visible, but this is a red bindi. So they have these hand-drawn maps and they put the bindi on the house where there is a pregnant woman. And that bindi has small white dots, which they would put the dots when the woman is receiving her first checkup, second checkup, third checkup. So this is very simple practice for less educated people and can be replicated quite easily when the more senior women's group is taking care of a new women's group. So they can show them how they are making the map and the others can also learn. The fifth activity is collective savings. We've helped them build a pool of collective savings. And here is some data. The total pool in Agra alone is 34 lakhs Indian rupees. And the advantage of this has been that for health, for education, where there was a lot of challenge. For example, children used to drop out of school because the parents were not able to pay education fees for 2 or 3 months or 4 months. Now they are able to borrow at modest interest and retain children in school. Likewise for healthcare, they postponed treatment because they did not have 5,000 rupees for treatment. This has helped them a lot. They were in the clutches of professional money lenders who sometimes would take whatever little possession this family had as a guarantee. They've been able to utilize these collective savings to come out of the clutches of money lenders. So these have helped them, and of course it has built tremendous confidence. One is it has brought in an interesting gender situation to the sociology of the community, because all these are women's groups except one in Indore, which is a men's group. And also it has given them a lot of confidence because they are no longer looking up to like a person like a money lender to do something. And they've also borrowed money for small enterprise. So many women have opened small shops, vending stations for vegetables, fruits, or whatever is appropriate for their community. The sixth activity our effort to invest in the future. So we've started children's groups. These are very new. They have been started, I think we realized this late. If we had realized this earlier, we might have started the children's groups earlier. But at least now we have children's groups, and we are hoping that in the next 5-10 years, as these children grow, even if they don't remain in that same neighborhood, they would be socially conscious young men and women, and they will contribute to the society. And what we found is that boys and girls participate together in these activities in most places. And the boys are willing to accept girls as leaders. So that's also an interesting and important dimension that this is teaching us. You know, we have grown up thinking that men will not accept women as leaders. And it is true in most of our society. But this generation seems to be telling us that, you know, there is more